My neighbour's got a problem. Got a little Mitsubishi Triton just like that, except for it's a diesel one. He loves it. 4054 diesel. And his power steering pump died. That pump looked the part in the pictures, except we both didn't notice. No, I'm going to use a drill bit. I'm going to take that out to a precise size with a drill bit. Stick that into there. So you got to sharpen a drill bit one day. You got to have this. That's a success story right there. Oh no. Come, Max. You and me, baby. Maggie, we've got a job on. Stop playing around. We've got a job to do. You can do that anytime. You're just doing that for fun. That's not a job. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Where are you going? Alright, we've got a little job here, guys. My neighbour's got a problem with his, he's got a little Mitsubishi Triton just like that, except for, he loves it, It's a diesel one. It's much tidier than that. I mean, it's registered for going on the road, so it's got the old 4054 diesel, and his power steering pump died. It could be this one. It could be this one here. He got another one from the wrecker. It's Jim Bob here. You know me, don't you? Yeah, that's Maggie. Yeah. So he got one of these from the wrecker, and might be this one. No, actually, the one that's on there is from the wrecker. And I don't know that it got bled properly. I think that might have been the issue, and it sort of locked up, or it might have been a dodgy pump. So you know, you got to get all the air bubbles out of these things, and otherwise they cavitate or do something weird. So this is the power steering pump that is dead, and I think it might have been $165 for a pump from the wreckers. And then there was, you know, like, no one's got any, because it's quite an old machine. That's quite old, you know, that's 90s. This might be a couple of years older than that one, just there somewhere. So anyway, the issue was that the power steering pump that he got died pretty well straight away. You know, just went for a test drive with it over the creek, and it died. It locked up solid. So no, it's not this one. This is the one that originally was on there, which obviously wasn't pumping. Bloody mosquitoes or something. What do we got here? We're in the tropics. Max. Long story short, because there's starting to be long stories. That'll come into it later. I found for him a pump. That pump looked the part in the pictures, except we both didn't notice. Even and bought it, it was $400 or something like that, because you can actually buy these pumps, but they're $1,500–$1,600, which is silly, you know. And you had to wait a couple of weeks from Japan, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, this one here looked like the part in the pictures. So if we look at it like that, that looks the same. There are a couple of differences actually when you get it up close. So this fitting here is different, the return line. So yeah, we can probably fix that up. That's not that big a deal. This fitting here and this fitting here is different. This is we'll come to that. But the problem we're just trying to address right now is this pulley here is one of the old serpentine ones, and then, you know, what do? You take the old pulley off and try and put that on. Well, the problem is where these bolts are, and you have to undo those bolts to be able to get this pump into the bracket. And he had to modify the bracket a little bit too. He sort of cut these ears in and shifted it in. He's done a good job of tacking that up. I think he's got something in here as well, just changed in here, so that's all tacked up. That's all nice. That's all going to work the same as the other. But the problem was with those on there, you couldn't see how you can't get to those bolts to be able to put them in and out. So you had to go for a bigger pulley. So I went for a look through my pulleys. I couldn't find anything, but he's gone down and bought a pulley, which would give the ability to be able to. Now, I don't know if I took a little quick video the other day working out the sizings of this, but this when it goes on here, this had a boss coming out a little bit too far here, so we've gone and worked out where flush is with that. We've worked out the height difference from that as a reference point compared to that to the center of the pulley, and we've worked out that there, if that comes down to flat on there, because we can, that's a press fit, just a press foot. There's no keyways or anything like that, so that's a press fit. So we've got to sort of do a pretty good job of turning that out to the same size. I'm actually going to use a drill bit. No, I'm going to use a drill bit. I'm going to take that out to a precise size with a drill bit. But I'm gonna finish it off with a reamer, a hand reamer. I bought a hand reamer. I was gonna put it in my lathe and turn it down. I don't know where my boring bar is. I probably have got one there, and I thought, oh, I should get a boring bar, do it on my little lathe. And you know, I'm a mechanic, not a machinist. I could do it. Don't get me wrong. I could do it. I'm not going to give up on that sort of stuff. But it was $15 for a hand reamer, and I reckon I can do a pretty good job of drilling that out to almost the right size and finishing it off with a hand reamer to get a fairly precise fit there. I've measured what this one was with the good verniers. I'm not using a micrometer or anything, but the good verniers. And I'm thinking what the difference is something like 0.05 millimeter. That's pretty much dead on 17 mils. This was 16.94, so 0.06 of a millimeter difference. So smaller. So I think if we made that, it was pretty hard to get this off with the puller. So if we make that fairly close, so you can heat that up, put that on, and you've got a bit of a bolt there to be able to pull it in. I might even put a stud in there and run a nut down and take it down on there. That'll get that down onto there. That'll give us the option to be able to put the bolts in. The height difference, there's not much height here to be able to have these bolts. So I might even, geez, these mosquitoes are eating me. They are eating me. Look at them. Look at them. Can you see that? They are going for it. This is why I haven't been out in the shed lately, obviously. Where's me spray? Have I got any spray? On some mosquito spray. Yep. This is good for you, this stuff. Good for you. Horrible stuff. Okay, so what I've got to do, so we were talking about that before. Yeah, the height here is not good. So I might actually change these bolts out here for something like a slightly rounded head hex, so a low profile hex bolt, just so you don't have to try and get a socket in there as well. You know, we're going to try and do that. So I'm going to try and just drill that out today, and maybe even get it close enough to be pulled on there. Before I put that on there, I'm going to have to get those bolts sort of done, the heights of those bolts sort of sorted, and then we can move on to what sort of fittings required for here and what sort of fittings required here for the drain. Hang fire, guys. Let me find some bolts. Went up to the other shed there to the bolt central. We're looking for some bolts, and I found exactly what I wanted. So what we wanted is some low profile bolts here, so that the pulley, which is a little bit of a low profile pulley now, doesn't hit on the top of these bolts. We're still gonna, looking at that there, it's a little bit lower, and we're still gonna need a washer, and probably spring washer as well. At least we'll be able to get in there and tighten it up. I think this is going to work out good. Where's the tripod? You just hold on to this pulley. Just rock around there for a minute, will you? But I think that's the right thread. Yeah, we're good. We are good. We're good to go. I just need to be able to hog out that pulley. Yeah, guys. So we're over here. We're going to try and get the old. Gee, I don't even know if this chuck works. We'll try something with that. We've got a target of something like. Well, let's try and do this with one hand. Now, yeah, it's something like the 16.95 there. Sometimes I've been able to stretch that out to 16.96 or something. Okay, so that's zeroed. We've got a few drill bits here, and we're going to try and find something that is in the ballpark at 15.8, so that's going to be 5/8. 19, that's too big. 17.45, so that's too big. Which way is it? The wax side in? Which way is supposed to happen here? I don't know. Okay. So far that 15.8 is the best. What else we got in here? Junk. I've got another set which might actually be able to work. Oh, here we go. Here's something. This might be too big. Oh, 16 point. 16.7 or something like that. So that's going to be the one. That is going to be the one. So we have to go and stick that one. Where's our, yeah, stick that into there. I want to do it in the drill press, but I don't really want to strap this down so that I can get it off center. I want this to be able to float around a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is put a bit of rubber down on here so it can grip. I don't know if that's going to work. And maybe use one of these little holes here to sort of stop it spinning without it putting a side load on it. I was hoping that these things here were going to be in, hoping going to be 3, so that I could catch on one of these without it sort of grabbing and then trying to go like that. So we'll see. Stand by. I'll come up with something. I'll have to fix this first, eh? Turn that off. Save the battery. Conserve the battery. You know you're supposed to take these out, the batteries. All these cheapy ones, if it's not a Matoyo, you've got to take out the battery. The Matoyo's got some technology in there that doesn't drain the battery even when it's off. All the other cheap Chinese ones, as far as I know, people go to the trouble of putting a switch in to disconnect the battery. Just take the battery out. Oh, yeah. It does turn. Just needs some use, this old girl. This is the free drill press that brother-in-law gave me that he didn't want, that he'd been given by this old fella, Sam Finnick. He's dead now, but he was a good old bloke. I bought that one of the garden sheds I've got down the bottom. I bought from him. He had to sort of get rid of it because he was moving to the old people's home and all that. And I'm just going to do that for him and gave him a few bucks for it. It was a cool old shed. Done a lot of things in that shed. He had a lot of wood turning gear. I always think of him when I use that shed. It doesn't get used much anymore, but I still think of him anyway. Okay, so I think we're going to be fine here. Okay. Just double check that this is the drill bit. I want something like 16.7. Yep. It's fairly sharp. Just making sure there's no corners knocked off there. That's fairly... no, that's fine. I'll show you how to sharpen a drill bit one day. You've got to have this. That's got to be going backwards when you look at it from there. That's got to be going backwards. It probably should have a fraction more angle than that. That's not quite enough. That's supposed to be 118 degrees. And you put two nuts together to get that. Those are supposed to be equal lengths. That's not supposed to be too thick. Sometimes you can grind in here to what they call web thin that. That has to be a straight line. That has to be a straight line. Those two need to be sort of straight. Can you see that? So I think I've covered all that. That's like 10-12 degrees that's supposed to be. That's 118 degrees there. I'll show you the easy way to my dad showed me how to sharpen drills these this way, and then they tried to show me at trade school how to sharpen drills, and it was quite apparent they had no idea. So I showed all the fellas in the class and they liked it. Thanks, Dad. Let's see if this runs. Let me run a power cord over here. I think I did give it a start after I got it up here. Power on. Feels beautiful. Right, we need a little bit of rubber. Alright. I reckon this will work. Need to clamp that down a little bit somehow. Let's just do a rough job and not complain about it. Let's see if this will do. I need some oil. Well, I got the good stuff. I think that's down the bottom here. Let's just go with straight oil. Hair oil. Hair oil. Huh. I might have taken it down the bottom, you know. I think I'm going to do something a bit different. Use a bit of anti-seize. But I don't want to mix all the iron filing into this salt. I don't want to get any gritty stuff into that. I'll just it looks like I've done this before. Okay. Where's my gloves, you say? Well, I don't know. I should really be wearing gloves for this. Billy, Jack. Oh well. If you haven't got the safety gear, you should just be safe. Right. So let's try and... I'm going to line this up. Basically, I've just centralised that. Not doing a very good job here. I think I need that rubber to be a bit smaller. Okay, we got a knife. That's not a knife. Recenter. tippet. We're going to come up inside that, about that much. Make sure there's no ribs there. Okay. Will this reach? Maybe. Let's see if that's still centered. Yep. That's a success right there. That's a success story right there, man. I made it work with what I had. That's what it's all about. Right. Put that back. Put that back. Good on you, drill bit. Right. Now the next job is to run this through the reamer, or hand reamer. Take that out to the 16.9 something. What we want to aim for? We want almost 17 millimeters. Right. That's a handy little thing. I'll leave that there. That can be part of the drill press tool. I'm going to come back with that hand reamer in just a moment. We might just measure this first to make sure we haven't gone out past what we need to be. So 0, that's on 0. Let's see. 16.8, 16.81. Yeah. Yep. So we've got to come out 0.2 of a millimeter and a bit. 0.25 of a millimeter. Which is 10th thou. We've got to take 10th thou out. Okay. That's not bad. We've got ourselves a little reamer. Oh no. They've sent me the wrong one. They've sent me 13.75 to 15.25. Oh! Oh no. You can't trust eBay, can you? I ordered the one that went to 17.5. Yeah, bugger. Let's got to go back. I have to check what I've check what I ordered there, but I knew I had to go to 17 mils, so 17.5 maybe. Alright, well that project's on hold. That project is now on hold. We need to get 10th thou out of there. There might be another way of getting 10th thou out of there. Well, there will be a way, but I wanted to be accurate. This is a backup plan to the backup plan to the backup plan. We can still go to the backup plan of the backup plan if this doesn't work. This is high pressure type of stuff. The oil's going to come up into about there somewhere. These little veins fly out with centrifugal force. Oh, say, can you see?